Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail, that would be me, and friends. And my friend today is Sherry Scharf. She is a community member. And while I was when we were backstage just a few minutes ago, I was able to hear some of her story of some of the things that she's been dealing with. We come to see you every Tuesday to share our stories, to answer your questions if we can, and to read your comments. And so please make sure to give us a heart or a thumbs up if you like what we're having, anything we have to say, or to put in where you're coming to see us today and from and where maybe what your weather is. We always love to know that the weather is. I'm out here in bright and almost sunny Idaho. Okay. So anyway, hi Sherry, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you, Gail. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm so glad that you're here tonight. And as we talked about earlier, I don't know a lot about your story, so we can go right ahead and get started with how you found out that you had lipedema, or what made you suspect that you had lipedema.
Go ahead.
I know.
Are you,
I was good. No, it's good. I I know. Sometimes it's like, okay, who gets to talk? I'm going to let you talk. I talk too much. So, what I would like to know, Sherry, and what I'd like to share is, how in the world did you find out that you had lipedema, or suspect that you have lipedema?
I kind of knew there must have been something wrong for like a really long time, like back into childhood, middle school, puberty changes. I was always the big kid in gym class, that kind of thing. And well, back in the 70s, of course, they had the knee high gym socks, and mine didn't want to go up very high. So I was like, I don't, what's wrong with my legs, you know?
Yeah. So
And
you graduated from high school in 77 or 78?
77.
Yeah, and I graduated in 78. So I will tell you what, those knee-high socks were not my friend
They
either.
were not my friend.
In fact, I used to wear them with the thigh highs. I used to wear those as knee socks because I could get the thigh part over my calves.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but then
But of course, there was no talk about anything like that. It's just something that got worse as I went through puberty and nursing school. And I'm telling you, I've been a nurse for over 40 years, and I didn't know very much about lipedema or lymphedema at all. I was
yeah,
not, I can't remember. Oh, we talked about the lymph system maybe just like a day or two in nursing school. Never talked about it in practice through the years. The bigger ladies that would obviously have lipedema, I can't diagnose them, but they weren't diagnosed as having that at
yeah.
all. It was never on anybody's charts.
So,
So
so basically, we were just ladies with fat legs.
that's right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Had
we were
my
the,
first child, and not much changed. Had my second child, and lots changed. Like I ballooned after that. Had the third one, and it didn't get much worse. And it stayed kind of stable for a long, long time. But I was always, I was fat shamed. In my field, I was fat shamed, going to the doctor, in society, family, all of it. So, and it was like, how much less can I eat? I wasn't, going crazy not eating, but I was not eating enough to what I thought warranted the weight that had come on. Um, then menopause. Things really changed with menopause. And that threw me from like a stage 1, 2 to 2, 3. 3, strong 3, maybe into the 4 a little bit. And I had a motor vehicle accident while working as a visiting nurse. And during the therapy for that, the occupational therapy person, while I was having therapy for the accident, she said, I think you have lipedema and lymphedema. She says, I can help you with that. I said, okay, I'll think about that. So I went home and researched it, and next time I saw her, I said, yeah, I'm interested in that, but let's finish up the accident stuff. I don't want to pile on something new. I said, I'll start coming for that with you when I'm done with accident stuff. So therapies, which never ended, and they still haven't ended. But anyway, she did get me ordered a pump, and she felt that that was what I would be needing and would be enough for me to keep this under control, along with she had me buy like tight yoga pants, that aren't specifically for lipedema or lymphedema,
Right.
but
They're
yeah,
like sports compression.
they give you some compression. And then I started buying socks that had compression in them as well. And so I went like that for about 4 years now, but now I'm back. Oh, then part of my accident therapy, and that had turned into spinal injuries, was pool therapy, which of course is very good for uh, lymphedema and lipedema. And boy, did I see a difference going in the pool for the therapy. And I mean, it was helping both causes, and also helped my arthritis in my knees as well. So I mean, triple bonus. Then we graduated to land therapy, and then my husband and I would go twice a week to the pool therapy with my instruction sheet from therapy of what to do in the pool. So we were doing that up until I found a doctor to do my knee surgery. So I'm recovering from a total knee surgery.
Right. It's only been a week, hasn't it?
It's a week today.
A
Yep.
week today that you've had your knee surgery.
Yep.
Now I want to kind of step back because now you said that the physical therapist said, "Oh, you probably have lipedema and lymphedema." She
Mm-hmm.
could not diagnose you,
No,
but
but
she could help you anyways.
she got an order from the doctor, my primary.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
she told my doctor what she wanted because
Okay.
when I went to see him, he's like, he says, I don't have a clue about this stuff. He said, this is what Julie wants, so we'll order it. And I'm like, that's fine. Do what Julie wants. So,
Right, right. And so you don't
and
have an
he put
official.
the lymphedema on, but he didn't put the lymphedema on because
Okay.
I also had, just before my accident, I had cancer surgery on my arm for melanoma. And I had lymph nodes removed under my arm and then developed lymphedema in this one arm. So my pumps include the trunk, the legs, both legs, and one arm. But my doctor is now getting me set up with another arm because I have lipedema in both. So
Right.
it takes a
That's
long time to get all this through all the doctors and insurance, and
it really does. And sometimes we feel pretty hopeless with I mean, we just feel like people either aren't listening to us or it just takes a great deal of effort and work to get everything set up. So lovely that you had a physical therapist who recognized this and a doctor who said, whatever Julie wants, Julie gets, pretty much, right? So that you were able to get the pump and the components that you needed for the pump. So which brand of pump do you use?
I use a FlexiTouch
Mm-hmm. Is it
Tactile Medical.
Right. Is it difficult for you to get in and out of?
Generally, no. And I haven't started using it since my knee surgery because I can't put the pump on my surgical knee.
Right.
But I've been thinking about, I'm going to ask the nurse that comes tomorrow about putting it on my good knee, my good leg, and leaving the other one open and put the trunk on and see if, I don't even know if the machine will work without everything on. But I
Right.
feel like I need the compression in my knee that hasn't had surgery yet. I'm
Right.
going
Right.
up like a balloon.
Right. And so we have a question from Deborah. She says, what kind of pump and what does it do? So the kind of pump that we're talking about is a pneumatic pump. And they have, oh, I'm sorry about that. So they have a it's a pump that fills with air. So they're leg garments or trunk garment, and they wrap around you, or they're a pair of oversized pants. Um, and then they fill with air. So they have chambers inside that fill with air, and the air fills at a certain pattern. So
From
chamber one
feet,
will fill
feet up.
and feet up. Yeah. So you sit back, you make sure that you're propped up, and then it'll start from your feet, and that's like chamber one. Then chamber two will fill, and there it's graduated, and it presses with the air coming in. It presses, and it's like almost like a massage, but it's air pressure. And so if you look for pneumatic pumps, there's Flexi Touch, there's Lymphopress. I have an Aeros, Airos. And so mine is just a pair of oversized pants I slide into, and I plug the hoses in. And then I have a nice 8-chamber with the Aeros. So there's a lot of different brands. And but it's when you hear us talk about a pump, we're talking about the compression pumps, and and it will wherever you're diagnosed with lymphatic issues or lipedema, you can get that pump, either pants. I know of one of our community members, she's full body lipedema. She even has a pump for her head and neck and her chest and her arms. And so it really depends on the brand, on what's available and how they work. So yours is a flexi touch. So you actually have a leg pieces that close up, correct?
Yes.
Like wraps.
Zipper up.
Yeah.
They have a zipper.
They have a zipper. Okay. And then there's some that wrap and you Velcro them shut. Mine is a pair of pants. It'd be like like I was a little girl wearing my dad's pants. They go clear up to my armpits. They're really big. They zipper all the way shut. But then when I'm in them, they expand, and it's like I'm wearing a balloon. And that's pretty much what they feel like. But they press. Now often you have to have a prescription to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's some contraindications. For example, if you have blood clots, you shouldn't be using them. If you have congestive heart failure,
certain
right,
heart conditions.
certain heart conditions, like you can't use one right now on your knee, on your surgery knee at this time.
Mm.
But when you get clearance, you'll be able to use that.
Right.
From
I don't want to open my surgical incision, so that's why I'm not doing it.
No. However, you can still get in the water as soon as you get clearance to get in.
That's 6 weeks to get in the pool.
Right. Right. And the pool helps. And like Deborah says, thank you. She's new to this whole thing. And many of us are.
A lot.
Yeah. And you're right. It's a lot. So when we were talking earlier, and you said you didn't have a diagnosis, you still don't have a diagnosis. Or an official diagnosis
Of lipedema.
of lipedema. but you know you have lymphedema, and
Mhm.
with lipedema, you said something that I thought was pretty amazing about the pictures on Lipedema Simplified.
Oh, yeah,
what,
yeah.
what did
Well,
you say?
I it was hard to, find a doctor to do a knee surgery, total knee on me because of my body mass index, BMI, and I'd been to a few that are very, they're very outcome based and they want really good outcomes, and there's more complications that come up with people that have higher BMIs. So most of them don't, but um, my surgeon I went to um, in St. Paul, Minnesota, he he had me do the x-rays first, and then he came in and I was all ready and geared up to give him my, I have lipedema and this isn't all just fat, this doesn't just drop. I mean, I had my whole speech ready for him, and he goes, oh, your knees are really bad, when do you want surgery? I'm like, okay, as soon as possible. Like, it's like got on the surgery schedule because they had a cancellation, and I said, I'll take it.
Right,
So
right. So he knew you had a high BMI, quote unquote
yeah.
BMI,
But
and that
I told him I had the lipedema and the lymphedema, and he says, "Yeah, I can see that." I said, "What is it? What do you want me to do before?" And he said, "Well, I would have liked you to have done some compression on it, with a lipedema specialist to, do the massage and wrap you, but we didn't have time. But I'm hoping we have time before the second knee, which is April 1."
right,
And
April 1st. Cool.
yeah, and I gotta say, each day is far better than the one before, and I am so far thrilled that I did this. And I'm hoping I get my mobility back and my independence with walking. I mean, if I go back to a cane, I'm fine, but I really want to ditch the wheelchair for good, and I want to ditch the walker, and I want to be able to walk the field, to sit down in a lawn chair with everybody else, to watch games that my grandkids are playing in, and walk into the stadium, when they're having their programs in the gym. And I mean, just all that kind of stuff that, I don't want to be the only one in a wheelchair watching the program. I'm glad I can, but I'm shooting for bigger than that. I want to be able to walk again.
Right. And when you have when you increase your mobility, when you've lost so much of it, when you increase your mobility, you're increasing your quality of life and your enjoyment of life, and that can lift your quantity of life, because everything about you is buoyed, is buoyed up, right, when you regain some of that lost mobility. And so I'm so grateful that you found a surgeon who says, yes, your BMI is high. However, you need these knees replaced.
Hmm.
You need them taken care of. And just like when my husband had his knees replaced, they were like, you're too young, because he was 45. And he's like, yeah, but I can barely move. And he finally found someone to do his knee. He did my knee a year later, and my BMI would have been too high, but he could see that I had to have this done to have any quality of life at all. However, like you said something earlier about why the other orthopedic surgeons weren't going to touch you. It was because
Well,
of
you
their,
go in and your BMI, my BMI is too high,
yeah,
and they've got a strict cutoff, and they're like, well, go ahead and lose 50 pounds and come back, and then we'll check. And I'm like, you know, I've lost over 100 pounds so far, and honestly, how much more is regular fat versus lipedema and lymphedema fat? Because that honestly, that just doesn't come off. My torso is looking a lot thinner, but nothing happens with my butt or my legs or my arms, my great arms. I mean,
yeah, those wonderful, those
those
wonderful,
wonderful arms.
your wonderful bear hug arms,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
biggest bear hugs. I know that's what mine do. Mine give great big old bear hugs. you know. Um, but yeah, so then you're looking at your next surgery on April 1st, and you're looking at the possibility of getting some wraps done to get some of the fluid off. And that was suggested by your surgeon as well.
He said it would be a good idea. He didn't
Yeah.
say I had to do it.
Right. Yeah. And
Well,
that's
actually, he asked me, did your lipedema specialist want to do that? And I said, yeah, she suggested it. Well, then do what she wants. It's like,
it
they
sounds
just want to do whatever they say because they don't know much.
right. So it sounds like Julie has carte blanche.
So you really have to get someone that's trained in lymphedema therapy to be your advocate to get through the whole insurance and doctor system.
Right. Right. You said that you took a look at some pictures, and you thought maybe you had posed for those pictures. What
I
was
did. I
this?
thought for sure that Catherine's pictures in her Emmy's Box of Hope. I was like, well, when did I go pose for that? I said, I could just, all I need to do is carry this into my doctor and say, look at this. That's me.
Right.
I have this.
Look at my legs, right? And
Look
so
at
I'm
my
going to
arms.
right. I'm going to put this link up here, and I'm also going to drop it into the comments. We have this wonderful gift for the community. It's called Emmy's Box of Hope, and Emmy is our mascot. It's our cute little flying pig. She's adorable. She's pink. She's got wings, and she can fly, or she thinks she can fly. And
Here she flies.
she flies, right? Yeah. Nothing is impossible for her. Everything's possible, and because of that, we use Emmy as our little mascot for Lipedema Simplified. And she has a box of hope. And in this box of hope, once you register to get your free resources, all you have to do is click on this link that's in the chat, and you click on that, and you can get your free resources. You do have to click on the link, get free resources now, and then once you do that, you have to register for it. Once you do that, you get all of these free resources. In the Learn category, you can find 2 postcards to print out and distribute. One of them is a postcard that says, "Do your legs look like this?" And it's for the patient. The other one says, "Do your patients look like this?" And it's for the clinicians. And if you print those out and you hand them to your clinicians, it actually has a QR code. And if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to a page that's called Clinician to Clinician. So these are clinicians talking to clinicians about lipedema. If you click on the QR code for "Do your legs look like this?" it'll take you deeper into the website as well. So we have resources for you, and it all comes from Emmy's Box of Hope. So please make sure that you're able to click on that and get your free resources and get more and more educated. This is not just for people who are new to this, but this is for people who already, like I'm looking at names here like Eileen Navarro and Rita Bush and Kathleen Shemrick, Sandra Bagwell. I've seen these names before. Marilee is here. Gloria's here. So many people who are here today. Julie's here. In fact, Julie's one of the creators of Emmy's Box of Hope. Kristen's here. A lot of these, is that Kathy Patton? I've seen her before. A lot of these women have known they've had lipedema for quite a while. There's still information in there for you. And it was created by our community as a gift to our community. And I love it. Aileen says, "I'm here now." That's right. You sure are, Aileen. So Is there anything else that you would like to tell us about your story before we wrap this up today, Sherry?
Well, that's it in a nutshell. We didn't get into the nutrition stuff, but probably another day, right? That's a big different topic.
Well, that's a
But
whole big different topic. But I would like to ask you, behind the scenes, I guess, or now, as far as nutrition goes, was there something in nutrition that you've done that makes life easier for you?
yes, definitely low carb for me so far.
Yeah.
I'm more toward like the Mediterranean. I haven't jumped into the whole keto thing yet. I'm touching my toes in it a little bit and seeing seeing how the water is.
Yeah.
But I've seen a big difference just with carbs so far and
Yeah.
high protein, which I need for healing anyway now.
Right.
So
Right.
I
And
have a lot of eggs and meat in my diet too.
oh, you know me.
I've
You know,
heard.
you've heard the story. Yeah, eggs, beef, butter, and bacon. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's kind of like my go-to, because it does for me help with the pain to get the carbohydrates. And when I talk about carbohydrates, I'm really talking about starchy, starchy processed foods. That
Yeah.
was the very first things that I had to get rid of, and it
Yeah.
helped with the swelling, and it helped with the easing of the pain in my legs. So, anyways, so before we go, I like to ask my guests if there was one message that you would like echoed around the world that you would like to share with our community, what would that be?
I guess we can echo it around the world, but it would be directed to Catherine
Okay.
directly. You know, she founded this whole thing, but when I first found you guys, her message and her video that you're not alone and it's not your fault, and mainly the not your fault part, I needed to hear after decades. So I'm
Yeah.
so thankful for her.
And I know that she's thankful that we're here with her too. We're, there's so much she has shared with us, isn't there? Um, I remember
Wealth of
hearing,
knowledge
yeah,
and the kindest person.
yeah. And I appreciate you saying that, because I remember hearing the words, "It's not your fault," and I actually had to pull over
Yeah,
the
I
side of
cried.
the road and rewind. We don't rewind things, but back up that audio and listen to it again, and it was like a voice of an angel.
Yeah,
Me.
it hit me hard.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm so glad you were here with us tonight, Sherry. I'm so
My
glad you were here.
pleasure, Gail.
So, with that, I'd love everybody to have a wonderful night tonight. Or if you're coming to us from someplace where it's first thing in the morning, have a wonderful day. And remember, you're not alone, and there is hope, and it's not your fault.